Welcome back to the Green Beans Go channel. It's your host, me, and I'm excited for this one because at the end, I'm going to show you a bet that I absolutely love for March Madness this Tuesday, and I would not have been able to find it out without Dimers. And I originally started this video as just a simple review of Dimers, showing you what they offer on their website for a low monthly fee, showing you how this is a good mix of both a bottom-up betting service and a top-down betting service. I love when a service can mix a model that is not only sensitive to data and game script, but it is also sensitive to price. Dimers does all that. So before I get ahead of myself, here is the game plan. We're going to talk about the Discord that they offer their members. We're going to talk the price of this tool. We're going to talk about some March Madness resources they offer on their website, some predictions they offer, some best bets they offer, and then of course their new player projections, which are for not only NBA, but also for college basketball and March Madness. We'll start with their Discord, and at this time, it is only available to Dimers Pro members. You can see, as I've included a screenshot here, they have all kinds of data feeds for very popular markets, first touchdown scores, first baskets, and home runs for MLB. But the thing that I am most impressed with, the thing that I think is the coolest of all, is they offer Q&A sessions with their head model makers. So on Tuesday night before the tournament, their head model makers at Dimers are getting on a call, and they're going to be able to field questions from paying subscribers. They mention you can ask anything from how prediction models are created and maintained, the best strategy to use them to maximize profits, and more. I'm always impressed with this level of transparency and love the idea of opening up a Q&A for paying subscribers. What everyone cares about, of course, though, is the price. They do offer a free forever version. The only downside to this, one, besides not being able to get into the Discord community, is the fact that your research, your trends, your props, your best bets are limited to only 3 per day. But with the paid version, you get unlimited best bets, unlimited props, unlimited projections, and the list goes on. We're going to walk through some of those key features in this video, and right now, I must say that if you use code MARCH, you get your first month for only $9.99. So from now until the middle of April, you can pay $9.99 and get access to the entire site. I think this is an awesome promotion they're doing. As you can see, it's 66% off their normal price. So if there's any time to get on Dimers, it would be now for the month of March. I want to point you first to a tab they have on their website dedicated to the March Madness tournament. I know that most people watching this are sports bettors, but if you're not a sports bettor or you're new to sports betting and you just want to get tips on your bracket, you can do that here. A couple of things I noticed, they have a section for upset brackets and you can choose your risk. Let's say you want a low risk upset bracket, a balance of strong favorites and carefully selected upsets. You can download that pre-filled bracket out. Or if you want a total chaos theory bracket, just crazy upsets, they also offer that using their model. So I think that's a cool, fun idea that they've incorporated for this March Madness. They also have a section called team brackets. So let's say you're a fan of Kentucky or you know that you want the Wildcats to win it all. You can download the best possible optimized bracket that gives Kentucky their chance to hoist the title. So they have this for all teams all the way down to the 16th seed. Bruh. So I think that's a cool feature as it relates to fans of specific teams. Next up, we'll take a look at their predictions page. They predict the outcome of every single game in the tournament, not only for college basketball and March Madness, but for NBA every night and soon to be MLB. I do want to point your attention specifically to the McNeese State and Clemson game. What I love about Dimers is not only do they include their model pricing, they include the best line for the sports book. So if you want to take McNeese State plus 7.5, they're telling you the best place to do that is FanDuel. This website is price sensitive. They care about finding you the best line in addition to matching up with their picks. That is a necessity in this space, and so many tools neglect that. So I love that Dimers includes that. Now, if we click into that actual game matchup, you can see that their model predicts a score, in this case, 65-73. If we look at the spread of this game, it's 7.5, and their projected model is pretty close. They have Clemson winning by exactly 8, and so their model doesn't really have a lean on a side. But if we move on to the over and under, you can see that the projected total from their model is 138, and the line set by sportsbooks is 134.5. That is a very sizable margin. In the sports betting landscape, you're getting a possession or two. You're getting 2 possessions, 3.5 points, 2 possessions, unless somebody gets fouled for 3 on the total. So that is big. And so this would be a good spot according to their model, to bet the over. A cool side note about dimers, again, it's these little things that make the quality of life of their users so much better that I have to highlight. If you click on the actual odds provided, in this case, it's BetMGM. If you click that, it will take you to BetMGM's website. So you can easily place this bet without having to fumble through all of your apps. So another cool small feature that may look insignificant, but I think shows a lot of the effort and time put into this website. But let's say you don't want to go through and look at all that. You just want it spoon-fed. A lot of you are spoon-fed bettors. I don't love it. I think it's better to do your own research and use tools to come to your own conclusions. But if you want to just blindly look at some numbers, look at some bets, they do have a best bet feature, and I'll go back and I'll show you. See, we have game predictions here and then best bets on this side. So we've clicked on best bets over here, and you can see that they have McNeese State at plus 7.5, which is a 50-50 shot of happening. Your edge is minus 1.2% because you're paying the juice of minus 105. If FanDuel is offering plus 100, this edge would be 0. So if we look down here, you can see, oh, look, didn't we just discover this? Didn't we just say the over was a good bet according to their model? They have over 134.5 hitting at approximately 54.9% of the time, which gives us an edge of 3.6% on BetMGM at minus 105. Let's say you don't want to look at individual games, you just want to look at some best bets. They sort out all of these best bets from their prediction model and they aggregate them to one main page. You can see they have the probability of the bet hitting according to their model, the edge, and then the best odds. Now, a quick math note, I'm always going to teach you guys whenever I have the chance to, even when I'm making a video reviewing a company's product. You can see if we use an implied probability calculator, plugging in 215 gives us the implied probability of Georgia Tech winning 68% of the time. The model says they win 71% of the time. 71 minus 68 is 3. So that is how they get their edge there. Obviously, there's some decimal points, but you can see how that edge is calculated based on the probability they give the outcome versus what the sportsbook is giving the outcome. You also notice that there are 43 valuable bets listed on their site right now, and there are 12 high value bets. If you toggle this icon on, it shows only the highest percentages in terms of the edges. So right now, the UNC Wilmington Seahawks versus Texas Tech over 144, probability almost 60%, and they're giving it at minus 108 on Bet Rivers. That's a 7% edge. It is the best prop that they have found thus far for the March Madness tournament. So my advice would be to flip on this high value toggle and scroll through, look through, see if there's anything you like, see if you maybe have a promotion at a certain sports book that would pair well with one of these. And remember, if you do not pay for this site, if you just use the free version, you're going to be able to see a couple of these. You're going to be able to see 2 or 3, but the actual ability for you to comb through, look through, and be selective about what you bet will be limited. And now we have officially arrived, the March Madness player projections. This is new this week. They are excited to release it. I'm excited that I get to talk about it. I want to also make a quick note, because March Madness is for a limited time. We know it's a great 2 weeks of the year, 3 weeks of the year, but it comes and it goes, and we're all sad, and we got to wait 365 more days for it to happen. But the same format for the player projections is also available right now on their site for NBA. So we still have a few months of NBA left. If you like what you see in this video for the college, make sure you check out their NBA side. It looks the exact same, and the functionality and ability provides the same for its users. Quick note, learning about the player projections. Dimer's player projections use historical data, matchup strength, and expected minutes to estimate player performance, updated frequently for accuracy. That is cool that they include some information about how the model is actually derived, but the coolest thing to me, and something that is so underrated, underutilized, under-talked about, under everything, is they walk through all of the nitty-gritty, all of the facets of their model. So many softwares out there in this day and age. Everybody's trying to rush to the market and provide users with data and make them pay for it. And then there's no information. There's no explanation. There's nothing. You just have to trust that they're right. What Dimers does is it actually walks through. And this is a portion of the explanation, guys. This isn't everything that's on their website. I couldn't fit it all on here. And I don't want to bore you with some of this mundane filler information, even though I don't think it's filler information. I think it is very useful. They walk you through how their projections work. They talk about their data sources and their model factors. They talk about positions and matchups and injuries and roster changes. They are accounting for many facets of the game which matter when projecting player props. Okay, let's talk about it. quickly. You can filter by team, you can filter by date, and you can also download this as a CSV file if you want to run your own model against these numbers or have them organized in another way. I think it's cool that they're giving you access to all that data in a clean sheet. Right now, I have sorted by North Carolina. Again, this is offered for most teams, most matchups, most players. I know that some people can't bet player props in their state. Everybody can bet NBA player props, so just use this information and shift it back and forth as it fits you. This is the play-in game. This game is tomorrow, and you can see right now that I have sorted it by points, but this includes points, rebounds, assists, threes, and every other category that you can possibly bet on. So what I've done, and I'm just going to look at 3 guys. This is how I would use this tool. This is how I can apply it to my betting. And this is where we're getting to an absolute dog of a bet, an absolute plus EV value bet according to the model that I stumbled upon in like 4 minutes. So I can attest to the fact that this stuff works. So if we sort it by points, I've just chosen 3 players. RJ Davis, Vin Allen Lubin, and Jalen Withers. And you can see what their model is projecting each of them to score in their Tuesday game against San Diego State. I've used FanDuel to comp them. Now, I know there are other books out there, and I would fully recommend you line shopping and make sure you're getting the best price. But for the sake of the video, we're using FanDuel. Right now, FanDuel has RJ Davis at 15.5. The model has it at 14.5. It's only 1 bucket difference, and maybe that's enough for you to place a bet on it. But if you were to place a bet on it, according to the model, you should maybe make a small bet on the under. Vin Allen Lubin, over 11.5. Well, they're projecting him at 13.5. Okay, that's a 1.5. Now we're talking a free throw, not a bucket, not a layup, not a 3. But again, there's still value certainly in 1.5 points. So maybe a small bet on the over. But if we look at Jalen Withers here, the model is projecting 12 points. And his line right now on FanDuel is 8.5. That is 3.5 points. That's 2 possessions worth of points that they are projecting Jalen Withers to go over his total. So if I'm looking at this and I want to pick one play, by golly, I'm taking an over bet of a medium-sized unit on Jalen Withers over 8.5. Now, this got me thinking, why is this so off? What is happening here? A lot of the player projections are close to the actual line, so what is making Jalen Withers stand out? What I did was then I sorted it by threes made, and I noticed that they were projecting Jalen Withers to hit over 3 threes in this game. 3.1 threes in this game. So 9 points they're projecting just from beyond the arc, and his total is sitting at 9 points. So if he doesn't score any 2, the model is projecting that he clears the line just in threes alone. If you look at FanDuel, they expect him to hit 2 threes. They're giving it to you at minus 110. 3 threes, which matches the projection, is plus 280. By golly, call your mother, we got some value. Are you kidding me? That is massive value. If they are saying that this is going to happen roughly 50% of the time, if they come up with a mean score for how many threes he's likely to have in this game over thousands of projections, and it lands at 3, plus 280 is tremendous value. So that gets me thinking as a sports bettor, because I'm not blindly going with this. That's an important piece. Some of you may blindly go with this. I like to use tools, and then I like to dig further. So does San Diego State's defense have a weakness at defending the 3? What's going on with that? How involved is Withers in this offense? Has he gotten a bump in the last few weeks? Is the game total high? Do they expect this to be fast-paced? Well, I started here. I started at San Diego State's defensive weakness, and I'm laughing because you're going to laugh too. I did one simple Google search. I looked up NCAA basketball team opponent 3-pointers attempted per game. I just want to see what kind of volume does San Diego State allow. Maybe their defensive scheme allows teams to shoot a lot of jumpers. We have an entire season of a sample size. And wouldn't you know that San Diego State's rank is 334 out of a possible 364 teams, meaning they are nearly last at allowing teams to take the 3, allowing 26 per game, 29 in their last 3, 40 in their most previous game. Their most recent game, they allowed the other team to shoot 43s, and on the road, about 27. So What has this model identified? I think if I had to take an educated guess, this model is identifying something that maybe FanDuel is not accounting for. I get that FanDuel has some of the best models. I get that FanDuel is fairly sharp. I get that these sportsbooks are good, but that doesn't mean they're perfect. And I think a high volume 3-point shooter on the North Carolina Tar Heels facing one of the worst teams at allowing 3-point shots to hit three isn't that far out of the question. So yes, I used the model to find a good bet, but I back tested it to make sure I was comfortable playing it using other info that is available to me for free. But without Dimers Pro, I probably would not have wandered down the Jalen Withers 3-point prop avenue. So again, player projections are offered for nearly every team, nearly every player. And as we get closer to tip-off, you're going to see more players pop up. I would encourage you to sort, filter, and find edges similar to the one that I showed you with Jalen Withers. The last thing I'll say is typically if you are interested in Dimers Pro, you could use code GreenMeansGo for 20% off. But right now, using code March is a much better deal for you. So do that. Use code March. Pay $10 for your first month, get access to this, keep track of your plays, make sure you're tracking how well their model is running, make sure you're using correct units, make sure you're doing this intelligently. But for $10 a month, 30 cents a day, this is a pretty darn good bargain and should help you not only approach your bets for March Madness, but even your bracket as well. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.